Hello, hello. This is Ann, and this is Support for Stressful Times. And we spend a half an hour every other week giving each other support during these stressful times. What's stressful for you right now? I was asking myself this question in preparation for our webinar today. I feel like maybe the most stressful thing of all, well, there's two things. Uncertainty. Seems like we've had at least 2 years of nobody knows for sure and contradictory messages. And yes, there's the pandemic, but there's other things in life that are uncertain too. And yeah, uncertainty. I find that can be hard on me. I find uncertainty can be stressful. Other thing I'm finding stressful these days is people who see the world really differently from the way I do. Now, I don't have anybody like that who I speak to directly in my life, but I see them on the news and I wonder what is going on, that there's such a rise in differences and people feeling very strongly about those differences. So I wonder about that. I really do. What's stressful for you? Let me take a peek in the chat. Anna, I'm stressed because we've not had hot water in days. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Wow, and you don't even know if you'll have hot water today. Yeah, that sounds really difficult. Every time I take a nice hot shower, I send gratitude into the universe that I get to have a nice hot shower today, because not everybody has such a privilege and it might not be there for me if something went wrong. Corey writes, stressed because of my life situation with work. Carrie writes, huge caregiving responsibilities. Some people have caregiving responsibilities right now. Loved ones, parents, children. Yeah, that's a lot. And Lily finds it stressful to practice being with the younger me within me. And Diane says, friendships seem to be changing. My friendships are no longer a good match for me. Oh gosh. And you're not sure why that is. So that's another upset. Elizabeth writes, uncertain because of the results of my work. All right. Well, let's see how we can respond to stress like that. And it is interesting that we can feel stress in our own body, right? You feel stress in your body somehow. We'll find out more about that in a minute. You also find the cause of the stress somewhere out there. My stress seems to be caused by so much uncertainty. It seems to be caused by these extreme different views that I see in the news. But is that really the cause of the stress? Or is there some other combination of factors that leaves me feeling stressed like this? So that's what I want to be curious about with you. So let's do a little process together that I think might be helpful to you immediately. And that also will lead us to have an interesting conversation about what causes stress. So taking a little time right now just to feel yourself here and now, aware of your whole body, from the head down to the feet, and just maybe wiggle your toes a little so you can really feel your feet. And I also wiggle my rear a little so I can feel that sitting on the chair. You might be sitting, standing, lying down. Any way you are is fine. But just pausing to sense. Here I am. And here you are in a situation. there's a room around you, unless you're outside, then your environment is bigger than just one room. So feeling yourself in the situation that you're in. Yeah, we're feeling our bodies here and now. Feeling your breathing. And being aware inwardly. So feeling in that inner area, throat and chest, stomach and belly. How are you in this felt experience? How is it in your throat? Just taking time to sense. And in your chest and heart area. And lower than that, down in your belly, stomach, solar plexus area. How's it doing? And is it even possible to feel in your body? I think for some of us, there can be so much agitation and movement of thought that it becomes more difficult to feel down here. So, but if that's happening for you, I would just notice it. So right now you are sensing something. You might be sensing that your thoughts are very agitated. You might be sensing tension in your throat or chest or stomach. Heaviness. You might be sensing happiness, joy. You might be sensing more than one thing, but notice what you are aware of. So one thing I'm sensing is a kind of relaxed calm and an enjoyment of being here with you. When I think of what's been making me stressful, my body still feels okay. It's very nice to be here with you, talking to you about this. And so my body's telling me I'm in a good spot right now. But what about you? And so when you find something that you're feeling, especially if it's challenging, contracting, some kind of clenching, tightness, heaviness, try using the language, something in me. I'm sensing something in me is contracting, clenching, tightening, etc. I'm sensing something in me is feeling that way. This is amazing language. I continue to be amazed at how helpful it can be to create a relationship with what we're feeling. We're never pushing our feelings away, but we also don't have to plunge into the middle of our feelings and feel them as intensely as possible. We can feel in a relationship with how we feel. And that relationship, that relational connection with how we feel, is a space in which change is possible. It's an environment for change, and that's change in the direction of your life moving forward. More life, more of your life coming in. So notice if you feel something like that when you can say, I'm sensing something in me feeling this way. But then there's a next step, and that is to be a listener. And we can use another kind of language that's still got the word something in it. I'm sensing something in me feels tight in my chest. And I'm going to sit down with it to get to know it better. I'm going to sit down with it to get to know it better. Wendy writes in the chat, something in me is finding it hard that my body is feeling like an old crock. And I want to do more than I'm able to. And something in me feels upset and sad. Beautiful. See, that's that language of something in me lets the upset and sad feeling be there, even though it's not pleasant. But pushing our feelings away doesn't help. What you don't feel just stays the same. It's when we come into a relationship with it that it begins to evolve. There's an environment in which change and growth is possible. So you've found something in your body, and there's a feeling of some kind. And now you say something in me feels that way, and you sit with it to get to know it better. And the next phrase you might want to try is, there's something about. So if I could use Wendy's example, Wendy might say, there's something about feeling old and not being able to do much that leaves me feeling upset and sad. Now that might seem obvious. Well, of course, no wonder. But also it's so fascinating to be curious, because actually, I think each one of us might discover that it's slightly different for each of us. So take whatever it is for you. Like I'll take mine, feeling stressed by so much uncertainty, so much doubt, so much isn't clear. When will I see my granddaughter again? And I am feeling that, a little bit of that in my stomach right now. I'm sensing something in me, feeling stress about that uncertainty. Okay. And now it's, so there's something about the uncertainty that brings this feeling of stress right now. Right? So there's two sentences that have something in it. One is something in me, and the other is connected to the life situation, the outer event. There's something about that that brings this feeling in me. There's something about what's going on that brings this feeling in me. And it's really, what you're really asking is something about me. I love to make plans. I just got that. I love to make plans. I'd love to plan to see my granddaughter. I'd love to have a schedule in which the next time I see my granddaughter is there, settled, set. Wow, that was really nice. That just came to me all of a sudden as I was talking to you, feeling you there, being my listener. Yeah, I have such a warm, settled, relaxed feeling when I can make a plan, and then that time of seeing that beloved person is set. Even if I'm not seeing them right now, it feels so good to know that I will. Okay, I'm bringing that back to my body now and checking if that's right. Part of what's hard about this uncertainty is that I love to make plans and feel like the plan I make will very likely happen. Yeah, I just got a real feeling, yes, that fits. Huh. Hope you're trying that yourself. Yes, let's see what's going on in the chat. Corey says, I'm finding it hard to feel something heavy, and something about the heaviness, something which is worried. It never gets better. You're using that word something very well, Corey. Now, remember, the relationship is from you, the whole you. There's something in you worried that will never get better. And you say hello to that. Sit down to listen to the one in you that's worried it will never get better. Diane writes, something was pushing hard to get me in a better posture, firm, determined to end this pain. And I'm saying hi to this. And that brought a breath, a wave of calm and less pain. Oh, the body can immediately react and show you that what you've just acknowledged helps with this deeper breath, with this relief of some of the discomfort. And Diane says the firm part is still there and vigilant, and it's sick and tired of the pain and wants it gone. Yeah, this is very common when we have pain, is that there's the pain itself, and then there's something in us that wants it gone and comes up with all kinds of strategies, and some helpful, some not helpful. But that you don't have to be either one of those parts. You don't have to be the pain. You don't have to be the one in you that hates the pain. You can be the bigger space where you acknowledge that both are there. I'm sensing something in me in pain, and I'm sensing something in me that really hates the pain and wants it gone. And I am here with both. And there's a quite different feeling when you can do it that way. Otherwise, we're caught in the struggle. We're either the one in pain or the one that's fighting the pain. And that can feel all kinds of difficult ways, trapped, repetitive. And when I step back and be the bigger space, and it helps me to be the bigger space when I say hello to each one. So when I step back and be the bigger space, it feels more spacious. Maybe there's still pain, but pain feels quite different when it's held in an atmosphere of acceptance. Give that a try if you're suffering from some pain. Eleanor writes, there's something in me feeling a connection with the residents in Canadian cities suffering through the trucker protests. I can connect with that, Eleanor. But notice how that feels in your body. And Mina writes, I'm sensing something in me, feeling a sense of hope, awe, and inspiration for the freedom movement in Canada. So even here in this group of 24 people, we have both sides of this very strong controversy. Can we make a space that includes both? I would like to. I would like to respect people coming from something true within themselves. And both are true, both are possible. Lily writes, something in me feels so sad that I don't know when I'll see my granddaughter and my son again. And the missing of the playful, silly feelings that come. Yeah, very good. What's possible? What becomes possible when we can be with how we feel instead of identifying with it? This is called, and one of the things we've called this is identification versus disidentification. So we're identified with our feelings if we say, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm overwhelmed, I'm terrified, I am. It's like a little equals sign. I equals angry, I equals upset. This is I am. And that's identification. And maybe that's okay sometimes. You may want to be identified with your feelings. But you have a choice. You can also be disidentified from feelings and identified with this sense of a larger self. We call it self in presence. That's the name we give to this ability to be larger than any feeling, including conflictual feelings. I can choose to identify with the self in presence, and from there, be with the different feelings. The one in pain, the one that doesn't like the pain, the one that's angry, the one that's ashamed of being angry, and so on. I can be that larger space. So I'm sensing something in me that loves planning. I'm sensing something in me that wants me to relax and not worry too much. And I'm going to say, and both are there. So try that. If you're feeling a conflict inside yourself right now, if you're feeling two sides of the story, something in me this, something in me that, use that language of I'm sensing something in me this way, and I'm sensing something in me that way. And I am here with both. That brings a breath for me when I say that. And when you feel that deeper breath coming, that's your body recognizing that something helpful has happened. And if you said that and you didn't feel any difference, if you didn't feel any change, try saying it again. I'm feeling something in me like this. And I'm feeling something in me that seems in conflict with that. And both are here. And I am here with both. I am here with both. And maybe that one brings a breath. Because sometimes it's not enough to say it just once. Who is this I when we say I am sensing? Another thing you can say is I am the space. Okay. So you have this one, like something in me is in pain. You have the other one, something in me is sick of being in pain. They seem ready to fight with each other. But you want to say, I'm sensing, this one's here and this one's here. I am here with both. And then you might add the words, I am the space where both can be as they are. Wouldn't it be great to be able to be that space for yourself? To step back and hold and be that space. So, yeah, Corey is was feeling a heaviness and something worried it will never get better. So that would be the both. I'm sensing something heavy and I'm sensing something worried it will never get better. I am here with both. I am the space where both can be as they are. And does that bring a breath now when you say it that way? And maybe not. So then maybe say it again. Wendy writes, I love that. I am the space in which all the parts can be the way they are. Yeah. This process that I'm showing you here, it's called focusing or inner relationship focusing. It's not about changing yourself. It's not about fixing yourself. It's not about ever telling anything in you that it's wrong to be the way it is or that it has to change. This is a process of radical acceptance, but not that you have to give up on anything changing. No, quite the contrary. When we give ourselves this environment, it's like an environment, I am the space, and then lovingly turn toward these different aspects of ourselves. That environment is like the most likely place where change can happen, positive change, change in the direction of fuller, freer life. Who can say what that is, right? I'm not going to say, well, it's change in the direction of you accomplishing more or change in the direction of you being a nicer person. I don't know if that's what's right for you. So I have to use this vague language, like it's change in the direction of being your fuller, freer self. Because this is what life is. Life itself lives toward more life. Jean Gendlin used to say, life wants to live. And every part of you has a spirit and a spark of life inside of it. Another great quote from Jean Gendlin, and I will write this in the chat. he said, every bad feeling, Gene Genlin is my mentor, my teacher, no longer with us, the man who discovered and brought focusing into the world. So every bad feeling is potential energy for a more right way of being if you give it space to move toward its rightness. Every bad feeling, meaning every unpleasant feeling, every difficult feeling, every challenging feeling, every stressful feeling, is potential energy for a more right way of being. That's what I mean when I say every feeling has life in it. And giving it space to move toward its rightness is what we do when we say, I am the space where all my parts can be the way they are. Wonderful. Well, so nice to be with you today. Have a lovely 2 weeks until we meet again. May you have a less stressful time, and I'll be seeing you. Take care.